Hi friends, my name is Elena and today we will take a look at how to best prepare for the TOPIK I exam. So you're planning to study in Korea? Maybe you even want to get a job here? Are you studying Korean at your home university and need a language certificate to graduate? Or do you simply want to check in on your Korean language skills? In each and every one of those cases, the TOPIK exam is the right choice for you. The TOPIK, or Test of Proficiency in Korean, is a standardized test that measures your knowledge of the Korean language. And if you're planning on studying or working here in Korea, it's important to get a good score on the exam. The score, or rather level system, goes from 1, which are the beginners, all the way up to 6, which are the experts. Level 1 and 2 are covered in the TOPIK I exam, while all the upper levels are covered in TOPIK II. Also, the first exam only has a listening and reading part, while the second one also has a writing assignment. All these structures might sound a little bit confusing right now, but don't you worry, I'm here to help you out. In this video, I will give you all the tips you need on how to prepare for the TOPIK I exam. Let's get right into it. Since we're focusing on TOPIK I today, we only have to deal with the listening and reading part. But first, 2 general tips. Tip number 1, always read the questions carefully. I don't know how many times I got a question wrong because I didn't realize I was supposed to pick the incorrect statement for an answer. In this exam, sometimes you are asked about a person, sometimes about a place, and sometimes just about the general topic of the question itself. That's why you always have to read the question from start to end to really know what information you are supposed to look for. Tip number 2, also read the answers carefully. Yes, this is kind of part 2 of the first tip, but just as reading the questions correctly is very important, the same goes for the answers. In the Korean language, a lot of the time, the suffix at the end of the verb is what actually tells you if a statement is causal, conditional, or something else entirely. Look out for things like 지만, 면, or tense markers like at, ot, since disregarding these little suffixes can trick you into believing the answer you're reading means one thing, when really it means the opposite. So always read all your answers through to the end. Now that we got the basics down, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the listening section. This section will last for 40 minutes and you have 30 questions to answer, so there really isn't a lot of time in between to take a break. And while the pace between the questions is quite fast, the actual speaking speed is fairly slow, so you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. In general, if you know Korean phrases and vocabulary for things like eating, shopping, greetings, and so on, you should be fine. And to get a good understanding of these basic phrases, I would recommend you to listen to as many audio materials as you can. Nowadays, you can easily find videos on YouTube with basic Korean phrases, simple Korean conversations, or just Korean native speakers talking to the camera. Now that we know the theory of the listening section, why don't we try solving some questions of a previous TOPIK exam? So now before us we have a previous TOPIK exam. We start with the listening section and we have an example here. You have a question or a statement and then you have to fill in the blank with one of the 4 options. Let's take a listen right now.
물이에요? 물이에요?
So this is the first and therefore the most simple question. We have the question 물이에요? Is it water? And your options are yes, it is water, yes, it is not water, no, I like water, and no, water is delicious. So of course the correct option is yes, it is water. However, from the real number 1 onwards, you don't see the question beforehand. Here you could actually just solve this question without listening to the audio because you know what is being asked. But from now on, you will have to listen for the question yourself. Let's see how number 1 goes.
1번 책을 읽어요?
So the question, 책을 읽어요? Are you reading a book? Do you read a book? Our options, yes, I don't have a book. Yes, I read a book. No, there are a lot of books. And no, I like books. And here you see why it is important to listen to the question and look for keywords. The question was 책을 읽어요. And you have only one option here where 읽어요, reading, actually comes up. So even in the case that you don't know the words 없어요, 많아요, and 좋아해요, you could know that number 2 is the right answer because you find the keyword 읽어요 in the answer that was also in the question. Let's take a look at the next set of questions. 여기는 어디입니까? So now we are being asked for a location. And again, you have to listen for keywords. For example, here we see 한국 돈, Korean money. What is related to money? A bank. If somebody was speaking about books, for example, we could know that the answer is probably 도서관, library. That's why it's important to use the little breaks in between the questions to look ahead and see what is being asked, so a place, and then what are our options, for example, 은행, 시장, 도서관, 박물관, so that we can kind of anticipate what words we need to look out for, like 돈, 음식, 책, and so on. So let's try number 7. We know we're looking for a place and the options are a flower shop, a restaurant, a lecture room, and a pharmacy.
뭘 드릴까요?
장미가 예쁘네요.
장미가 예쁘네요. 장미, a rose. We're talking about a flower, so we know it has to be number 1, the flower shop. As long as you know 장미 being the keyword for the location flower shop, you're all set. Now, that wasn't too bad, right? Next, let's take a look at the reading section. This section will take 60 minutes and you will have 40 questions to answer. As you can see, you will have a bit more time per question in this section, but since the later questions are accompanied by longer texts, you still don't really get a break. And that's actually what my first tip is about: optimizing how you use your time. Before reading the text that the question is about, take a look at the answers to get a general idea about what you're dealing with. With this method, you should figure out what type of question it is and what your possible answer options are before you even start reading the text. This way, you might only have to read half of the text before finding the answer, instead of having to read all the way through the end. And that's a real lifesaver during the later questions where the texts get longer and more complicated. If you're still feeling a bit overwhelmed, don't worry, I still have a secret tip left for you. For this tip, we look to our good friends here at FunPik. FunPik has developed study resources specifically designed for the TOPIK exam, and their current products will make sure that you are all set for the reading section. Let's take a look at the textbooks first. The textbooks cover all types of questions from the reading section. You have several mock tests to practice your skills. And if you ever feel like you don't want to work with a book that day, the QR codes on the pages connect you to FunPik's video lessons right away. Of course, these lessons are also tailored to the TOPIK exam and provide additional practice and explanation for the grammar and vocabulary you'll encounter on the test. Plus, you'll be able to exchange questions and encouragement with the fellow students in the comment section. And to complete the trio, FunPik has an app that allows you to study anywhere at any time. You can set your own study goals, work towards a certain topic date, and even play some fun games, which is a great distraction when studying gets a bit boring. So, whether you prefer textbooks, video lessons, or an app, FunPik offers a variety of options to help you prepare for TOPIK. And with their focus on this exam specifically, you can be sure that you're studying the right material. Those were my tips to help you prepare for TOPIK 1. Stay tuned for a guide to TOPIK 2, it's coming soon. And as usual, if you have any questions or comments, please share them with me down below. I'll see you next time. Until then, 안녕!